Hi, good morning everyone, it's Tony here again. This week I want to talk to you about putting a man on the moon. I'm going to tell you a story that resonated very much with myself a number of years ago when I first heard it. In 1962, JFK on one of his trips to NASA Space Center, he was walking along the corridors and he bumped into a janitor and he stopped and he started a conversation with him and asked him, tell me a little bit about what you do here in NASA. And his response took JFK by surprise a little bit. He said, I'm helping to put a man on the moon. And that was a very powerful message for JFK to hear, that it was quite clear that everybody in the organization was crystal clear on what the organization's vision was. Everybody knew where they were aiming at and what success was going to look like, no matter what level of the organization you were working at. So today's video, I'm going to talk about the importance of understanding your vision. Because without knowing where you're going, it's quite likely you're never going to actually get there. And I think too many organizations pay lip service to this, and they may write up, long, woolly vision statements that sit in bookshelves that no one ever looks at. But those organizations and those leaders that are really, really clear on their vision are those that tend to actually achieve great success in their personal lives and in their business lives. Some of the well-known brands that we all know, had leaders that were able to inspire their team by first clearly articulating what the vision was, what they were trying to achieve. We think about Ford. Everybody knows Ford. Back in 1909, the vision was quite clear to democratize the automobile. We think about Microsoft. Actually, when they first started out in the 70s, their whole goal was to a computer on every desk in every room. Now, the vision can change for an organization, but that's what they initially set out to do. Amazon's was every book ever printed in any language in under 60 seconds. A superb vision to have from day one. And I think everybody over the last couple of months may have seen that image of Jeff sitting at his desk working on his own in the garage in his house, but he knew what he was setting out to achieve. Over the last number of years, we've had the privilege of getting to work with some of the best leaders, mostly of SMEs, and some of those in larger corporations in Ireland. And one underlying trend that I can see from work with all of these people is that they're visionaries, without a shadow of a doubt. They're very, very sure of where they're trying to go. But one of their weaknesses is being able to articulate that message so that they can inspire those around them. So it's very, very important that you take a chance to step back and you ask yourself the questions: where are we today? Where do we want to go? And most importantly, what does success look like? Can we clearly articulate our message into just a few short words that we can use to inspire everybody within our organization, so they know what the goal is, what does success look like over the next few years? So, what do we want to be synonymous for? This week we had a workshop with a startup company. They're up and running only a couple of months now, and they're already thriving forward. But again, a superb leader, a guy who has a superb vision within his industry to do things differently. He's certainly not accepting the status quo, and he's taking the time to get really clear. I know, again, I keep repeating myself on that, but he's getting really clear on what that vision looks like. He's starting to build his team now, so he wants to make sure that anybody who joins that team knows where they're going and they're inspired to know what the purpose is. So I would urge anybody watching this video today to take some time out of your business, get out of the trenches and look at that vision that you're setting out to achieve. You may need to tweak it a little bit because the market has changed or your organization needs to go in a different direction, but be very, very clear on what your vision is. And then once you have actually articulated that, don't just put it on a piece of paper and leave it on a desk somewhere. Get it up there, activate it in your office environment. Make sure your people understand where you're heading. Something else I think which is important about some of the leaders that we get to work with and we get to see every day of the week in what we do is they tend to not look at the obstacles that are in front of them. They're really good at looking well beyond the obstacles. And if you think for a second of an Olympic hurdler and you watch their body movement as they're jumping hurdles, one thing they're certainly not ever doing is looking at the hurdles. They're very clear on the destination, which is that finishing line. And great leaders, that's what they do. They work around the obstacles. They don't run up against the obstacles all of the time, because that's just a part of life. And certainly when you're running your own business, there's going to be lots of obstacles. But if you know what the destination looks like, it'll help you constantly get over those obstacles, get around them, go underneath them, whatever it takes to arrive where you're at. So that's it for this week. I hope I've provided some value to anybody who's watching this and any business owner. Just to recap quickly, take the time to get crystal clear and analyze what the vision is for your organization. Bring some of your key people into that conversation, clearly articulate it and activate it across any of your touch points, mostly within the office environment is a great place to start. We're coming towards the June bank holiday weekend. I hope everybody enjoys themselves, takes some time out to recharge the batteries, and maybe if you get to be by the seaside this week, or if you're out at taking a walk and catching some fresh air, it's a perfect opportunity for you to rethink what that vision is.